Hey guys, and welcome back to The Genius Life. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make jerk cauliflower. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is make the batter. So we're making a rice flour batter that's going to have some seasonings in it. Then we're going to make the jerk sauce. And then we're going to dip the cauliflower in each. So in the batter and then in the jerk sauce. And then we're going to stick it in the oven. That simple. So I just added about half cup of rice flour to my bowl. Now we're going to season it up with some nutritional yeast and some other seasonings. I like to do a heaping tablespoon, because I like nutritional yeast. And then you want about a teaspoon of onion powder. Doesn't have to be exact, guys. Like I told you guys in my last Jamaican video, if you haven't seen it yet, it was the ackee and mushroom mixture or recipe. It was super delicious, but basically what I explained in that video is Jamaican cooking is really all about just cooking from your heart, not worrying too much about, exact measurements. So right now I just want to give you guys an idea of how much to use, but feel free to add a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that to make each recipe your own. Now we're going to add about half to 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and now we're going to add about a half teaspoon of paprika. I'm doing about a heaping teaspoon, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. We've been working on using less salt in this household, so hopefully that 3/4 does us well. Okay, so you're just gonna go ahead and stir all those yummy seasonings into the rice flour and really incorporate it well. And then you're going to measure out about half teaspoon of any plant-based milk. I have some homemade almond milk here that I'm just shaking up. I just made this like 2 hours ago. The jerk sauce requires a 1/4 cup of orange juice, and I really try to limit the amount of processed anything that we have in our food. So instead of going out and buying orange juice, I'm just literally using one orange. I'm gonna blend it up and I'm gonna squeeze it through my cheesecloth to get pretty much a 1/4 cup of orange juice. Now if you want to save time, feel free to use orange juice, but just know you need 1/4 cup of some type of orange juice. We're gonna make the sauce now. So to make the jerk sauce, you're gonna need a couple fresh ingredients. I have about 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped garlic, about 3 tablespoons of fresh scallions chopped up really finely, or as finely as you can. And the scallions, you might find them in the grocery store under green onions. So some people say scallions, some people say green onions. So. And then I have about 1 to 2 tablespoons of ginger grated. And traditionally this recipe would have Scotch bonnet pepper without the seed, but some people in my house are not able to handle the heat. I'm gonna go ahead and use a habanero green pepper, which is actually a lot less spicy, but I'm gonna keep the seeds because that's really where the spice is held. Without the seeds, it's like you didn't even add any pepper to me. There's one extra fresh seasoning that you are gonna need. Fresh or dry is fine. You're gonna need like a sprig or so of thyme. I happen to have the fresh, but if you have the dried, that's fine. You always want to use 3 times the amount of dried seasonings as fresh seasonings. So I'm using about a sprig, which is maybe a teaspoon, if not a half teaspoon. So if you're using the dried version, just times that by 3, which is 2 to 3 teaspoons of thyme. So now we're gonna go ahead and add some allspice. Feel free to be a little bit liberated with this if you are familiar with the spice. If not, then maybe just go a little bit light on it. You're gonna add a 1/4 cup of coconut palm sugar, or if you have brown sugar, that's fine. I'm using a mixture of liquid aminos and tamari, and these are really just your plant-based versions of soy sauce. So I know it sounds really fancy, but at the end of the day, you're just adding soy sauce to your sauce. So the orange juice came out really nice. I love the pulp that's in it. I'm not even gonna strain it off. I really like how it tastes and the texture. So we're just gonna add that entire orange that's been blended into our sauce. Now we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of tomato sauce. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Nutmeg can be a really strong spice, so that's why we're adding less to the mixture. If you are a nutmeg lover, like most Jamaicans, we love it in our porridge, then go ahead and add a little bit more. We're gonna set this into the pot and let it simmer down, and then we're gonna dip our cauliflowers into the batter and throw it in the oven. And now we're gonna just go ahead, as usual, go ahead and dip the cauliflower in the batter and sit it on our pan. So my oven's preheated to about 400 degrees. We're gonna let that cook for about 30 minutes, and then we will baste it with the jerk sauce. I threw the cauliflower back into the oven after I basted it for like 5 minutes on 400 degrees, just so I can kind of, you know, solidify the sauce on there. If I were you, I would get some jerk sauce on top of my mashed potatoes and kind of do, you know, make it like the gravy, and, you know, add some sides. Normally you would have this dish with rice and peas. In a separate video, I'm going to show you guys how to make rice and peas the vegan way. Pretty much rice and peas is always vegan, but I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, we're having mashed potatoes, which are vegan as well, and some sauteed kale and carrots. This would be super delicious with some sweet plantains or even some green plantains fried or baked in the oven. So there you have it, guys. That is your jerk cauliflower dish. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you tried it down below in the comments, and how did you like it? Did you like the taste? Did you like the recipe? Did you think it was simple, or is it a little bit too much for you? Honestly, this would have taken me 30 minutes if I wasn't filming, but it took hours because we were filming. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.